Hello everyone and welcome to the class. This is David A. Cox with Tech Talk America, and today we are talking about what I'm calling my #1 favorite gift to give or receive this coming holiday season, and that is the Amazon Echo. Now some of you may remember we actually did review this product a year ago and we did not give it a good review. Well, I'm happy to report that this thing has gotten exponentially better over the course of the last year. And so I give a lot of credit to the folks over at Amazon for making it so. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to give you a whole bunch of different examples of what this can do. Also, one of the things that we've decided to do is instead of me like giving a command and having this thing answer me, what we're going to do is we're going to give you 2 free PDF guides that you can get them below. They're going to be available through our website. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're just going to have to click a link. It's going to have you go through, and it is free. You'll get it right there through our website. But if you want those PDF guides, they're open and available to you. There's actually 2 of them. One has the most helpful commands that you can give this thing. The other is a list of all of these smart home products that I would recommend that work with this product. Now, before we begin, I'm going to do something that no one else, it seems, on YouTube or the interwebs has done. See, if I say the word, it's going to set this off. And for those of you at home who have one, I'm going to start to drive you all insane. So instead, every time I have to say the word, I'm just going to mouth it. We're not having audio issues. It's just my little way of not, again, driving you all insane. So smash that like button purely for that reason. Thank you. All right, let's talk about this. This right here is the Amazon Echo. Now this is one version. There's also a much smaller version. This right here is $179. The other version is the Echo Dot. Now I have kind of an interesting thought to present to all of you, which is instead of getting this, you may want to instead get the Echo Dot and pair it with your own speaker. Now, the one that I'm going to recommend, and this is going to still be a lot less than this costs, is the Unce speaker by Cambridge Soundworks. Now, they have 2 different versions. One's a smaller version, which only puts out 10 watts. The other one is much more expensive, but it puts out 20 watts of sound. So if you'd like to get those, we'll give you links to, of course, everything down below in the description of this video. So the reason why I'm recommending that model is that if you were to go with what I'm proposing, the Echo Dot is $50, and that speaker is $28. So still a lot less money than just this one device. The key thing you have to be aware of is that if you do decide to go with that setup, it is important that you have that speaker plugged into power all the time. It is portable, it does have a battery. However, if you are on battery and you don't use it, it's going to go to sleep, which basically makes it ineffective. So if you're going to go with that option, just understand it needs to be plugged in. Okay, let's move on. So this Amazon Echo has 7 microphones on it. So it can listen to your voice and it can do a ton of different things just from voice command. I'm going to give you examples of a lot of them today, but just know that the skills for this thing are constantly growing. So this is very likely a product that we're going to keep doing updated videos on as the skills improve. So let's go over the setup process. When you first get it out of the box, you're going to plug it in. And the important thing you have to do after that is you need to go on your smartphone, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, and you're going to need to go to your respective app store and download the app. Okay, we'll have links to both in the description of the video. However, those usually only work if you live in the United States. Otherwise, just go to your app store and you can search for it. It's pretty simple. Once you have it set up, what you're basically going to do is you're going to need to go through that app, and there's a bunch of different settings that you're just going to need to enable. So for example, in order for it to give you the weather report, you need to tell it where you are. Another example, sports. So if you care about sports, I don't. If you do, you're going to need to tell it what are your favorite teams, and you can pull from tons of different sports. I don't know the full list, but there's quite a few of them. So you can say to, give me my sports briefing, or how do my favorite teams do today? The next one, I love this one, business hours. So if I can't remember how late my favorite restaurant is open until, I can ask. I can also get other information like the address or the contact phone number, that kind of thing. Next one is you can hail an Uber right through this. There's a connection to tie Uber to, so you can say, hail me an Uber, and it will do it. Next one is you can order through Amazon, but I'm not going to recommend it. When you order things through this, it can be very confusing. There's a lot of times different options. It's just easier to do that on your smartphone or on your computer. Next one is music. Now this is a major, major feature. The Amazon Echo ties in with different music services, including Amazon Music. If you're a Prime member, you get a version of that. Pandora, Spotify, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. If you subscribe to Apple Music, this does not communicate with it. So if that's a major feature that you're interested in and you don't use any of those other services, this may not be the right product for you. Next one is traffic conditions. So if you drive to work every day, thankfully all I have to do is go to my basement, but for those of you who do have a normal job, you can tell Alexa where it is that you work, and you can say, Alexa, how long is it going to take me to get to work today? And it will analyze the traffic conditions and give the approximate time. Next one is flash briefing. So this product talks to many different news services out there. My personal preference is NPR. So in the app, you can set who your preferred news sources are, and you'll just get an instant news briefing about what's going on in the world. And there's different sectors too. It doesn't have to just be news. For example, I subscribe to a bunch that are tech related. Okay, so you can kind of go through and curate it the way you like it. Next one is setting timers. This is huge because a lot of you may find that this is a very handy device to have in the kitchen. Whether you use one, or sometimes people will use more than one of these, especially with the Echo Dot, it's great for setting timers. So, and multiple timers too. So if I have one thing that's on the stove and another that's in the oven, I can set multiple timers. I'd like to give you a slightly off-topic tip if you decide to do this. One of the products that we're going to mention in that PDF guide are these various smart lighting systems. The two big ones are Philips Hue and Lifix. Now, I actually own both of them. I used to rave about Philips Hue. These days, I'm a little bit more partial to Lifix. Lifix does communicate with this, not as easily as Philips Hue. Okay, so that's just the little disclaimer there. But the reason why I'm even bringing this up in the first place is one of the things that you can do, at least through the Philips Hue, is that I can make it so that when the timer goes off, it will blink the lights. Because a lot of times when I'm cooking, I have other stuff going on. I have the TV on, I've got music playing, something else is going to distract me, and I can't always hear the alarm on this thing. So by tying the two together, when my alarm goes off, it blinks the kitchen light, which means take the cookies out of the oven. Next one that we're going to go over here is a feature that's going to be great for some of you, but not for everyone. Calendar. If you use Google Calendars or Gmail calendars, okay, this does communicate with it. So you can say what's coming up on my calendar, or you can schedule an appointment right through this. If you do not use Gmail or Google Calendar, it's probably not the best solution for you. I was working earlier and trying to find ways to kind of make them cross-communicate through the service if this then that, and I couldn't really find an easy way to do it. So unfortunately, that's not going to be for everyone, at least those of you who don't use Gmail already or use a calendar. Next one is unit conversion. Once again, great for the kitchen. How many cups are in a pound? How many ounces are in a liter? That kind of thing, it's great for. It's basically Wolfram Alpha kind of information. Next one, okay, ready for this? Read my facial expressions. You can order Domino's. Next, you can ask for TV show time information. So if you want to find out what time your favorite television show is on tonight, that's another great example. Definitions, also spelling. How to spell a word, how to get different definitions of various words. And finally, the last kind of major part that I want to go over here today is your smart home. Now this can communicate with many, many different types of devices, and there's so many of them out there. We haven't tested all of them because a lot of times I end up having to buy them. So I'm going to float something out there to the world. For any of the companies out there that make the products that talk to this, if you would like me to test it, you are welcome to send them to me. Here's our direct mailing address. There you go. So if you want us to test them out and review them, we will absolutely consider it, and we can always update that PDF for the folks at home too. So you'll get that little promo. But for those of you who do decide to buy these, I just want to make it very, very clear. The items that are in bold are the ones that I have tested and give a thumbs up to. If they're not in bold, it doesn't mean they don't work. It doesn't mean that they don't work great. It just means I have not personally tested it, or I don't personally own it myself. Another thing I want to just mention, for any of you out there who happen to own a Fitbit, this now communicates with this, which is pretty cool. Because one of the things I can do now is I can ask, how many hours did I sleep last night? And find out that number without even having to go into the app. Finally, there's one thing I want to address, which I'm going to guess a few people otherwise may mention in the comments of this video. This product can listen to you 24/7. There is obviously some privacy concerns with having a microphone that is active all the time. And I can completely understand that. This whole Big Brother thing is, becoming more and more real. You probably already have several microphones in your home, laptops, desktop computers, smart remotes, whatever. We already have a lot of microphones there. So as a stupid experiment, I decided to test it out. And so one night, and I swear to God I had not had many drinks, I decided to use the word Swedish fish as many times as possible. So I would come into my home and I'd be like, I love Swedish fish. God, Swedish fish just make me want to be alive. I could really go for some Swedish fish, etc., 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 for an entire evening. And then what I decided to do was go onto Amazon.com and just see, do I see any ads for such Swedish fish? By the way, they're not paying me to say this. They should be, they're not. And no, there was nothing. So I don't see any indication that this is actually being used secretly for marketing purposes. I just want to address that because if I don't, there's going to be inevitably people out there who write stuff in the comments, and I just wanted to dispel it right off the bat. Everything is hackable, theoretically, but I haven't seen any evidence that they're spying on us or anything like that. So that's it. This is the Amazon Echo. Also, I'm a big fan, as I said, of the Echo Dot 2. You'll find links to everything that I've mentioned today in the description of the video. Please leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. This is David A. Cox with Tech Talk America. Class dismissed.